Lords, in Rising, I feel like I should declare some positions. England and Wales Green Party has long championed a Cornwall Assembly, Yorkshire Assembly or Parliament and similar for around the rest of England. The Welsh Green Party has said that it will campaign for independence should a referendum be called. And, of course, the Scottish Greens have long been pro-independence. So having put those cards on the table, I begin by thanking the noble Lord Wigley both for securing this debate and for his creative, positive introduction to it. And I particularly thank him for the chance to celebrate the local election results, which were truly spectacular for the Green Party. And one of the outcomes from that is that there are now 18 councils, as well as the one council we run, 18 councils in which we are part of some form of rainbow coalition, some grouping of a number of parties working together cooperatively for the common good. And so one of the things I'd like to highlight is I think the phrase, these are usually classified as councils in no overall control. I think we really need to rephrase that terminology and look at these being councils which are in cooperative operation where people are working together to govern, which is a very different model to the traditional model of British governance, and I would argue demonstrably a far better one. And to suggest some of the places where I happen to know about where this is working particularly well, Lewis, I think, is a particular highlight, Herefordshire, Sheffield, diverse places, this is working well. And, of course, in Scotland, we have Green Party ministers. And I do want to pick up a point from the noble lady Baroness Fraser, who suggested that there was perhaps an exclusionary model of Scottish nationalism. Well, the nationalism as championed by the Green Party is very much a civic, inclusive nationalism, one that acknowledges that the Syrian refugee who arrived last week is as much a part of the community as anybody else. And I think maybe England could learn from that form of nationalism. Now, I think it's clear, and it's really clear from this debate, that pretty well everyone agrees. Indeed, the noble Lord Jones just said The Economist, the government, in terms of its manifesto, promised to have a commission, the Labour Party having a commission. What we have now is broken. But what we've been hearing a lot of suggestions, and even the commission, which I think would be a positive step forward, but it's still very much the establishment rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. The great and the good sit in a room, something like this, possibly under some dreadful art like this room, and decide how to rearrange things. Well, I've got an alternative proposal. Let's have a People's Constitutional Convention, an assembly that represents all of the peoples of these islands, and of course you could also have these at different levels in the nations as well, and collectively allow the people to democratically decide how we should change, how we should start from scratch and redraw our currently totally outdated, dysfunctional, unworkable constitutional arrangements, both between the nations and indeed in this House and the other place, etc. Change we need. Let's not us draw up what the change is. Let's let the people decide.